Wow, I really like Ruka-chan's character. She's just so cute and sweet, and wait a minute. Now that I think about it, she's awfully short. I wonder. She's how old?
FBI, open up!
Always lonely on a Friday night? Tired of eating taquitos and watching anime at 2 in the morning? Well, never fear, because now you can just rent yourself a girlfriend to experience your poor life choices together. Sounds like a great idea, right? It's not actually. You're kind of an idiot if you think so. And you'll end up like my boy Kazuya, who deadass 16 seconds into the anime, yes, I sadly counted, gets dumped and blocked by his first ever girlfriend, Mommy, where he afterwards mopes around his room thinking about his ex, and thankfully before he can intimidate a jackrabbit thinking about his ex going all the way with another guy, finds an app where he, and I quote, Kazuya, can rent a girlfriend.
He said it!
Which is pretty much how it all begins, by our college-age protagonist getting cucked by Mommy and becoming lonely enough to download the Diamond app where, let's say, he meets a certain girl that will change his way of living for good. Mizuhara is the girl that Kazuya decides to rent out for the night, and on her profile she's labeled as a pure, refined, high-class girlfriend, which is the complete opposite personality to our protagonist from what we can tell so far with how his room looks. Then again, there's nothing more romantic to a girl than used tissues and cup noodles littering your bedroom floor. But even then, it's still too early to make assumptions about our characters since we've barely been introduced to them. Yet even as I say this, Kazuya is not much different from me. As he's waiting for his date to show up, he starts to doubt that she is as hot as her profile picture, thinking it's just all filters to make her look more appealing. So, I feel really smug when Mizuhara shows up to prove him wrong, as she's even hotter than her profile made her look out to be. We then see a start of a dynamic of Kazuya paying Mizuhara for her services, because as soon as he does so, they can begin their date as a normal-looking couple. And after that's out of the way, they follow the date plan that Kazuya had sent Mizuhara over text, where they walk around an aquarium, and cutely enough, the reason why he even picked the aquarium is because he actually loves going to them and has a good bit of knowledge on fish. It's almost as if he was fishing for compliments from her. And then the date ends sweetly with Kazuya walking Mizuhara to the train station, where she then makes a move on him and holds his hand, making for a tender moment when she goes further to interlock their fingers together. Don't get too excited over this fact though, because as sweet as it is, it's actually something Mizuhara does at the end of all of her dates to hook her clients in, much to Kazuya's bitter disappointment. So because of his frustration at the act, he leaves her a bad review, which would seem a little bit harsh at first, but I can't help but sympathize with him, especially because I know why he would think like this. But do I think he's in the right to do so? Hell no! As it's Mizuhara's job to make her clients happy on their date, as she's paid for it being a girlfriend. It's a temporary thing to the person who pays her for it, so it's not like she's toying with anyone's heart by doing her job, despite how Kazuya may see it as. Not that what I say matters to the characters, since this just makes him rent out Mizuhara again just so he can give her a piece of his mind, but as soon as he sees her again, Kazuya is already admiring her beauty, albeit in a more tsundere fashion this time, like, okay, slow it down, Mr. Simp, you have a goal here, and well, so he pays her while asking her if it makes her feel empty inside, being paid to date guys she doesn't even like, but Mizuhara is quick to answer that she loves her job. The date only goes downhill from here, as you can probably imagine, from denying that they are a couple to a merchant who just assumes they are married, and then suddenly snapping at Mizuhara even after she went out of her way to steady up for fish on this date. And it's here we realize why Kazuya is so upset by her actions, and it's because it reminds him of Mami-chan, who he cared a lot for, and even though he did everything he could to bring him and Mami together, she still broke up with him. It's a good thing he recognizes it was a stupid thing for him to do, but it's too late for Kazuya to take it back, as he's just released the real Mizuhara, who's fed up with his shit and tells him off for treating her like she's a real girlfriend who he's fighting with, when really she's just his rental girlfriend doing exactly as she's told, as it's her job. Kazuya even tells her she's done nothing wrong, making Mizuhara even more upset that he would even give her a 1-star review in the first place on their last date. After she's finally done ranting, Mizuhara actually asks him if he'd like to keep going with their date, but before Kazuya can answer, he gets a call from his parents where he finds out that his grandmother has collapsed and is currently in the hospital, to which he ends up dragging Mizuhara with him, and while under pressure by his family, he ends up revealing that Mizuhara is his girlfriend, much to disbelief of Kazuya's parents and his grandmother's overwhelming joy upon learning this fake info, and wants to be discharged to throw a party for the hot he's brought home. And honestly, Kazuya's reaction to all this is just mine too. Then after a bit, Kazuya's parents go home, and as soon as the coast is clear, Grandma is already wanting the steamy details of their relationship. And obviously my boy has never gotten none in his life, and it clearly shows, but luckily for him, Mizuhara gives him a decent cover-up, but like, holy shit, Kazuya's granny is more than ready to give them her permission so they can bone it up as much as they want, and it's kind of concerning if you ask me. Anyway, after they get the useless permission to bang it up, some trigger-happy havoc ensues when Kazuya's grandma decides she wants to tell her hospital homies that her grandson actually managed to snatch up a girlfriend, which is trouble because it just so happens that one of the patients there is Mizuhara's grandma, who has no idea about her current job occupation, so she and Kazuya attempt to make a quick escape but end up getting cornered in a room with no exit. So what better time to set up the pressed against scenario since they hide under the hospital covers, where Kazuya of course can't keep it in his pants, keep it down, and thinks he can just go with it since at the moment Mizuhara is supposed to be his girlfriend. But no, seriously, keep it down! Dude, her grandma is seriously out there looking for y'all. I'd say yours too, but I'm sure Kazuya's grandma would be more than happy to catch them in the act. Kazuya's thought process and what makes it so satisfying to watch her kick his ass across the room for even thinking about it, as she's not just a rental girlfriend, but someone he barely knows. The ruckus draws the attention of both of their grandmothers, but before Kazuya can apologize to his own grandma about lying that he has a girlfriend, the goat that is Mizuhara quickly saves his virgin ass by acting surprised that her boyfriends and her grandmother were friends with each other. After the whole ordeal is over, at the end of their date, Mizuhara is unbothered by it all, saying it's her fault for not even saying anything about her job, and to fix it, she suggests that they should just tell everyone that they broke up. Also, don't you dare move a finger. I see your hand on the mouse, so you better not click off the video just yet, as the show isn't quite over. Because in due response to Mizuhara's suggestion of breaking up, he tells her a story of how his family owns a store that was started by his grandfather, and even when he died early on, his grandmother took the reins of it despite having debts and his father to worry about. So to Kazuya's family, she's a determined woman that can't even stop when the stakes are high, or so it's not too much of a mouthful, she's their goddess. It's her wish that before she passes on that Kazuya can find himself someone nice to be with, and because he loves his baddie granny, my words, not his, he wants to make that dream for her come true. So this only leads me to be even more pissed off when I find out the girlfriend that Kazuya had beforehand outright refused to meet his grandmother. Like, how hard is it to meet a family member of someone you're dating? Apparently impossible if you ask the overglorified trash chute, and it wasn't too long after that mommy had even dumped him. That was just one of the leading factors that had made him desperate enough to rent out Mizuhara in the first place, causing this whole mess he's gotten them both into. His story is what makes Mizuhara explain to not only him but the audience that there's nothing wrong with being lonely. Some of us just do a better job at hiding it than the rest of us, filling it with work or lovers, and I really agree with that, and I really couldn't say it better than Mizuhara herself just did. The speech was enough to convince Kazuya as well as me, apologizing to her once again and promising he'll introduce his grand to a real girlfriend one day. It's actually really cheesy, and that's fine with me because I do love some cheese on my protagonist pizza. Too bad Mizuhara doesn't feel the same and slaps the cheese right out of him, calling him gross. Gotta love ourselves a tsundere, eh? In the end, Mizuhara tells him that whenever he's feeling like a lonely rabbit again, to feel free to call her. A pretty sweet thing for her to say, and really, it even had me kinda flustered. But Kazuya has stated in his monologue that his pretend dating days are over, and well, buddy, I don't know how to tell you this, but this anime is called Rent a Girlfriend, so I ain't quite convinced about that, and it's a good thing I wasn't, as the next day on his college campus, he ends up running into, you guessed it, Toka Fukawa, it's Mizuhara, obviously, and her everyday appearance, making this the real beginning of Kazuya's very messy, very pent-up story. And that pretty much sums up the first episode of Rent a Girlfriend, so how would I rate it? I'd say it's a pretty good start, but it won't hook you instantly, even with how much I like Kazuya and Mizuhara's dynamic, as well as their characters, but I can definitely tell you that by episode 2, you'll definitely be wanting more of not only Kazuya, but the girls he's involved with too. But I'll have to let you guys find that out for yourself, so I'm just going to be moving on with my review from the plot to the characters themselves. First up on our list of characters is one of our protagonists, Kazuya Kenoshita himself, and if I have to describe him, I'd say he's a lonely, desperate virgin who's got his heart in the right place and is actually a really sweet guy, as long as his dick isn't getting in his way, that is. I can tell he was really in love with Mommy, and others will call him stupid for it because it was pretty obvious she didn't feel the same kind of love for him. And do I agree with that? Yes, absolutely, definitely. Kazuya really does be simping for the wrong girl. She's utter trash. But just because I agree with that doesn't mean I don't see where he's coming from, as he did love Mommy even if it was only for a month, which really isn't that long at all for a relationship, so him being so broken up over it doesn't make any sense. Although if you take in the fact that it was his first ever relationship and that he was so close to making his grandmother's dream come true, then yeah, it's much more easier to see why. On the bright side, it's not that big of a loss, cause I'm pretty sure Kazuya's grandma would have hated Mommy and her fake ass personality. She probably would have even been disappointed in him, because even she knows Kazuya can do better than that. The only thing I actually hate about Kazuya's character is that he has made me watch him fantasize about wanting to screw Mommy. Like, why would you make me see this? I mean, if he just needs a hot girlfriend, I'm available. Wait, Ruka, I'm kidding. No. Speaking of Ruka Sarashina, she's the most recent addition to the anime, along with being Kazuya's trial girlfriend. Ruka is actually my favorite character so far, and I really like her cute character design, which, fun fact, was changed from the manga where she had brown hair and brown eyes, so I think the anime did a good job of changing them to a teal and black as they make her stand out more to me. Her first encounter with Kazuya is when he accidentally bumps into her on his way home from meeting Mizuhara, and what better way to introduce yourself to a girl than stare blankingly up her skirt after knocking her over. Though Ruka is only officially introduced to Kazuya by one of his friends Shun as his girlfriend during a double date, and it's here we learn that Ruka is aware that Mizuhara is just a rental girlfriend. Side note folks, before watching this episode, I had a hunch about this character and who she exactly was, but when I asked my friend about it if I was right or not, he tried to make it seem like I was wrong. So upon finding out Ruka was Shun's rental girlfriend, I was so fucking pumped. Like, in your face, Joey, I told you the Walkster is never wrong. Ruka became Kazuya's trial girlfriend because after hearing the story of how Kazuya jumped in the river to save Mizuhara, who was just a rental girlfriend, Ruka had a feeling he could be an even better boyfriend to a real girlfriend, so she ended up falling in love with him and the way he's able to make her heart beat faster. And after seeing her backstory, it made me really happy to watch him fall in love with him. It made my heart all fluttery and soft at how sweet it was to see, so I'm gonna be a really sad bitch if I see your heart get broken again. Another funny thing, when I was watching this anime for the first time, I assumed that all the girls were in college, making me very confused when I saw how small Ruka was in comparison to Kazuya in the scene, so I checked the wiki, and as I joked in my intro bit, I found out she was actually 17, so that boggled my mind, yet I don't know why. It was her height that made me realize she was young when me and her are the same height. No one better joke about my height in the comment section or I will delete your kneecaps. As good as this anime is from the get-go, nothing is truly perfect as there's trash right from the beginning, and his name is Mommy Nana. May you please let my boy live his life without your bitter ass trying to ruin his relationships at every turn. She literally doesn't even have a right to be so bitter, as Mommy was the one who broke up with Kazuya. Guys, there is seriously so much I could rant about how much I hate this stupid cow, but my good friend Virtus Joe has already made a really good video about her recently that pretty much covered up most of my points, but I still have a couple things I want to say about her before moving on. I already stated beforehand that Mommy was Kazuya's first ever girlfriend, and she's the one who dumped him for no reason. Yes, she said she fell in love with someone new, but apparently that's just a lie because we never actually see this guy she just claimed to be in love with. The only person Mommy has shown any interest in is Kazuya, and the reason why? Hell if I know, go read the manga I guess, like every mommy simp will tell you, as apparently she has a good reason to treat Kazuya like shit in front of all his friends and girlfriend. But frankly, I don't care what reason Mommy has, no matter how sad her backstory may be. Kazuya was just a guy who was in love with her, and from what I can tell, didn't do anything bad in their relationship. But even when they were together, Mommy still disrespected him and made fun of him. Then when it's suddenly apparent that Kazuya has gotten a new girlfriend, for some reason that bothers Mommy, believing he's just doing it to get back at her. Like, hello, cringy much? Doesn't feel so good now, huh, Mommy Mia? It doesn't even stop there though, as Mommy tries pulling some manipulation shit on Kazuya by reminding him of the child they plan to have together and how now that he's with Mizuhara their baby will never be born. Seriously bitch, what's wrong with you? Let Kazuya get his girl, no one cares about your hurt feelings. Grow up before I kick you down even more with your ooh I'm so quirky personality. Get bent by your imaginary boyfriend. And of course, I saved the objectively best character for last, Chizuru Ichinuz, or known mostly by her alias name Chizuru Mizuhara, our female protagonist who puts up with all the shit Kazuya dragged her into. Now, if I have to describe her, she's a cold, mature girl who knows where her priorities are. But that's only at the surface, as when you get to know more about her, Mizuhara is actually a really sweet, very wise tsundere who cares a lot more for Kazuya than she'll let him know, at least in the point in the story we are in. But she still has her moments. A good example is while they're on their double date, Kazuya is moping about how we can get Mizuhara to like him, and although she isn't aware of this and is just assuming he's bummed out about his failed attempt of getting back with his ex, and offers her a drink to him as a way to comfort Kazuya, but Mizuhara is quick to tell him that it's just a part of their deal, and you want me to check your temperature, Mizuhara? You're looking pretty flushed there. In the beginning, Mizuhara was very unwilling to go along with being Kazuya's rental girlfriend after what happened with their second transaction, as she just wanted things to end smoothly so she can get on with her job. Yet, it's becoming very apparent that Mizuhara cares for Kazuya after he saved her from drowning and is slowly opening up to him, and even allows him to continue renting her despite before when she had told him they were gonna end it that very night to put an end to the lie they had told their grandmothers. I'm not too convinced that she wants it to be over with though, as I could tell she liked it when she watched Kazuya stand up for himself when he punched his best friend in the face. That pretty much rounds out our main cast so far, as we haven't actually gotten to meet Sumi yet, but from what I can tell by her design is that she's probably a college student with a meek, childlike personality, and she's most likely a rental girlfriend as well. I mean, I could be wrong about this, as I'm just guessing from what I can see of her character and her promo art and the reactions in the OP and ED she gives off. So really it'll be just as much a surprise for me as it will be for you if you're watching it too. Actually, there was a moment in the anime that had me screaming at my computer screen from how hyped I got while I was watching it. I explained it a bit earlier of how Kazuya was trying to get back together with Mommy and how Mommy was acting like she wanted to be with him too. So Kazuya decided to piss me off by announcing to all his friends that they were actually thinking about breaking up upon being asked if they could go to Mizuhara's house. And you're probably thinking, isn't that what Mizuhara wanted in the first place? Well, yes, and we find out later that she was actually glad he was trying to do so, but if I was in Mizuhara's shoes, I would be mortified that my significant other would bring that kind of private matter up in public, especially in front of all my friends. I would be outright pissed about it. Plus, it doesn't help that he was acting so smug about it as it wasn't such a big deal. I wanted to punch him, and as soon as I said that, the absolute GOAT, my hero of the anime, motherfucking Cabe, came in clutch and knocked Kazuya flat, all while calling him out for letting his dick doing the talking for his love life. I was like, yes, call him out, do it! And it only got better, because he called out Mommy for trying to lead on the guy she dumped. I had to send it in this moment. The anime had actually given me everything I wanted and more just by the 4th episode. Ooh, you guys don't know how good that felt to watch. But generally, after the story and the characters had captured my attention, as the idea alone of renting a girlfriend for an ongoing plot is interesting, but that's not where the good ends. Rent a Girlfriend has great animation and character design coming from no surprise as it is produced by TMS Studio, also currently known for animating the Fruits Basket reboot, the upcoming Dr. Stone Season 2, and some childhood favorites like Sonic X and the 90s Spider-Man series, which I fondly remember watching with my brother on Jetix when we were kids. Also, if you remember what Jetix is, then congrats, you too had a questionable childhood, as I'm still wondering if that was a fever dream I had or not. The music is also really good in this anime. It honestly gives me Pokemon vibes from battle music when Kazuya and Keeb get into a fight, along with Pokemon Center-like themes when we see Kazuya's family arriving at the spa. Centimeter, which is the name of the OP for Rent a Girlfriend, is sung by the Peckies, who I actually know already from their ED song Stand By Me from Sarah's On My, and I can confirm this is just yet another bop they have made, and I'll be listening to it in my Weeb playlist that comes to nobody's surprise that I actually have. My ending conclusion, should you watch Rent a Girlfriend? After how long this video has been, my answer is obviously yes, you totally should. I can admit that the first episode may not be the factor that will hook you into wanting more, but I can guarantee after episode 3, with its interesting premise, fun but flawed cast of characters, its addicting music, gorgeously smooth animation, and its tense character drama, I'm sure you'll be curious to see more. I hope this video gave you enough reasons to watch Rent a Girlfriend, and, well, thanks for watching. Walkie is done here. Peace out! So, I see you've made it to the end of the video. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and especially since this is my longest video I've made yet. I also need to thank you for helping me hit 50 subs, which I honestly didn't expect to hit so fast, really, and I know that may not seem like a lot, but to me it is, since talking about anime and manga is something that is really fun for me to do, and it makes me super excited that even 1 or 2 people would actually enjoy watching me do so. And of course, I need to give the hugest shout out to my thumbnail artist Hot Fries for helping so much around my channel lately. Not for just making the funny skits and thumbnail for this video, but also for making my new channel art and the background that I've been using for this video and that I'm going to continue using for future videos. And, well, if you guys really like her art as much as I do, you should go check her Twitter out. She does cosmissions and even draws really cool art for zines. You really shouldn't miss any of it, so I'll be leaving her Twitter link down below. If you'd like to be updated, check my Twitter link down in my description. I usually post on there a lot about what I'm doing, what I'm watching, and what kind of plans I have for future videos. And with that being said, let's roll the outro.